The old witch cackled loudly, her voice echoing through the cavernous space. "You think you can defy me, child? Do you really think you're strong enough?" Her gnarled fingers curled into claws, digging into the armrest of her throne. Perched on a nearby rock was a small dog, his tail tucked between his legs. He wasn't the kind of dog that could fight off a wolf, but he wasn't just any dog. He was a good boy, a loyal companion, and he would do anything to protect his human. This dog had come to this place with his human. They had been lost in the forest, stumbled upon the witch's cottage and knocked on the door seeking shelter. The human had been weak from a fever, and when the witch opened the door, she had seen the opportunity to take him away and make him hers. With a wave of her magic, she had snatched him up and set him on her throne. Then she turned to the dog and offered him a choice. She could turn him into a human and free him from the chains of being a mere animal, or she could let him go, wild and unfettered. But she also told him that if he stayed with his human, he would get a chance at a reward even greater than freedom, a chance to save his human and undo the curse that bound him. And so the dog had chosen to stay. Now the witch raised her staff, ready to deal the final blow. "No, please," whimpered the dog, shrinking into a ball. "Don't hurt him," he barked furiously, his fur standing on end. But his growl was pitiful and did nothing to intimidate the witch. With a sigh, the witch lowered her staff. "Brave words from a little dog," she said, amusement dancing in her eyes. "But you forget yourself, little one. You are just a dog, nothing more." The dog looked down at his paws, shamefaced. The witch was right. He was just a dog. But maybe, just maybe, he could still find a way to stop her. Thinking fast, he said, "I am just a dog, yes. But what do you know about good boys?" The witch frowned. "Good boys?" The dog nodded eagerly. "You see, good boys are smart, real smart. We can learn lots of things. Good boys are also brave, real brave. And we can be very, very sneaky." The witch considered this, stroking her chin thoughtfully. "Sneaky, eh? I suppose you think you can outsmart me. I don't want to play games with you." "Witch," the dog said, trying to sound menacing. "Let my human go." "Oh, no, no," the witch cackled. "I have plans for him." The dog felt despair wash over him, but then he remembered what she had said about good boys being smart. So he asked, "What are your plans for him?" The witch paused, enjoying the fear in the dog's voice. "I'm going to drain his life force and use it to enhance my powers. With his life essence, I will become all-powerful." The dog felt sick at the thought, but again, he forced himself to ask, "How long?" "A few days," the witch replied. "He'll live long enough for me to complete the ritual, but not long enough to stop me." The dog thought quickly. 3 days. He had 3 days to find a way to defeat the witch and save his human. But how? He looked around the room desperately, searching for inspiration. Then he noticed a broomstick leaning against the wall. A broomstick. Of course, every witch was known to ride a broom. It was only natural that she would have one. The dog raced towards the broomstick, grabbed it in his mouth, and dragged it back to the center of the room. The witch watched him, amusement twinkling in her eyes. "What are you doing, little dog? Trying to fly away with that?" "Not exactly," the dog replied, wagging his tail. "You see, witches have a weakness. They hate it when someone else uses their magic against them, especially when it involves a broomstick." "See, you probably didn't think of that when you decided to put that there." The witch's face hardened. "Don't be a fool, dog. You can't possibly think that you can defeat me with a childish trick like that." But the dog persisted. "Watch." He closed his eyes, focused on the task at hand, and pushed the broomstick forward with all his might. The witch screamed in surprise as the broomstick flew forward, knocking her staff out of her hands. She tried to regain her balance, but the dog kept pushing the broomstick, sending the witch crashing to the ground. "Get away from me," she spat, scrambling backwards. "You filthy animal, I will kill you." She waved her hand, summoning a bolt of lightning, but the dog dodged out of the way and kept pushing the broomstick, driving the witch further and further away. She tried to stop him with spells, but he dodged them all, his reflexes honed by years of living on the streets. Finally, the witch stumbled out the door, collapsing onto the forest floor. The dog raced after her, barking furiously. He could hear his human calling out to him, and he knew he had to hurry. As the witch lay on the ground, he kept pushing the broomstick, driving her deeper and deeper into the woods. Suddenly, the witch stopped. She turned to the dog, her eyes blazing with power. "You think you've won, little dog? You think you can defeat me?" You said you'd let him go if I brought you to him, the dog panted, trying to keep up with her. So let's go. The witch cackled madly, and then she lunged at the dog, her claws extended. But before she could reach him, a figure emerged from the trees. The dog skidded to a halt, recognizing his human. The witch froze, her eyes wide with surprise. She hadn't sensed him until it was too late. The human, looking stronger now, strode forward and kicked her staff away. Leave him alone, he growled, his voice shaking with anger. The dog barked furiously, backing the witch away from his human. The witch snarled, but she knew she was defeated. She turned and fled, disappearing into the shadows. The human knelt down and hugged the dog, burying his face in his fur. Good boy, he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. You saved me. The dog licked his hand, his tail wagging furiously. He had done it. He had saved his human. He was the best boy. As they made their way back to the cottage, the human couldn't help but smile. He had never doubted that the dog would come back. He had never doubted that his loyal companion would be by his side no matter what. And as they walked, he knew that he was truly lucky to have such a good boy by his side.